Oh, I got to fix my sales to CS handoff. You don't need to fix it. You need to remove it and eliminate it entirely.
You're listening to the Daily Stand-Up by Lifetime Value. Consider this your daily dose of new ideas, fresh perspectives, and/or hot takes as they relate to the worlds of customer success, post-sales, or whatever the hell we're calling it these days, and where we ask each guest one simple question. What's on your mind?
All right, you guys ready? What's up, lifers, and welcome to the Daily Stand-Up with Lifetime Value, where we're serving up fresh idea biscuits every day to help you in your CS journey. I've got my man JP with us. JP, do you want to say hi?
Top of the morning, people.
Rob's here. Rob, do you want to say hi?
What's up, lifers? And what's up to your dog, Dylan, that just appeared in the background?
Did she? Well,
yeah.
She's probably in between nap sessions. That's what. We've got Matt here. Matt, do you want to say hi?
I do. Hey, all.
And I'm your host, Dylan Young. Thank you all for being here. Matt, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, happy to. I'm Matt Evans, founder of Prescriptive Outcomes, a consulting firm that works with B2B SaaS tech startups and founders. So I'm very passionate about driving revenue growth and making change with CS and revenue teams. That's really the basis of it. Love to work with early stage startups and revenue leaders.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, so give us the topic on which you are the most passionate right now as it relates to customer success. And I want to feel it, Matt.
No, I'll feel it and then I'll give it to you. I think the biggest thing that I am just hot button topic is the sales to CS handoff. And you hear this everywhere, right? Lots and lots of people are, oh, I got to fix my sales to CS handoff. And my problem is that you don't need to fix it. You need to remove it and eliminate it entirely. Get rid of these hand-me-down situations entirely in a SaaS environment. And that's my hot button topic for today that I can rant on for a hot minute.
I'm going to play the fool here, but I wasn't ready for you to say get rid of it entirely because I don't know what the alternative looks like. Can you lay that out for us?
Yeah. So think of the typical SaaS situation, right? Where you've got salesperson closing the deal, going through the motion, going through their sales funnel, working tirelessly. They hit that closed one button in Salesforce or HubSpot and everyone shouts hooray, hurrah. And then they toss it over the fence. That's the term you hear constantly, right? The toss over the fence. That's the typical motion. And CS picks up, figures out what do we need to do on the kickoff call? Is it scheduled? What do I need to learn with this person? That's like your typical handoff motion. In my opinion, is there shouldn't be a handoff at all, right? Remove the handoff entirely. And in my opinion, the easiest and best way to do that is you create a team, a revenue pod. Most tech companies that I work with, they have a CRO in place. Most of the newer ones that I'm working with, right? You've got a CRO, revenue, which is marketing, sales, customer success. It's pre and post sales. So why on earth do we have this weird siloed disconnect when we're all reporting up to a revenue function, right? And so sales and CS, I'm just going to call those two out. You can expand it to like marketing, SDR, BDR, operations, product support, et cetera. But keeping things simple here, create a revenue pod. The simplest example of this is that you've got a pod of a salesperson and a customer success manager, and they work together. So a salesperson sells a deal, they automatically know who that deal is going to get assigned to. The customer success manager knows that when a person is working on a deal, they're soon to be assigned to that deal. So think of any type of overlap where that customer success manager then can actually help the salesperson join like a closing call or a call to help get the onboarding call set up. Customer success manager can sell the expertise that the customer is going to get in onboarding, help close the deal, but also align on the results that matter most. And my whole problem with handoffs is that it's a hand-me-down situation, right? I'm getting handed down from big brother to younger brother here. It's so much is lost in translation. We're not aligning on what matters most to our customers, what results, what outcomes, what are we helping them achieve by using our products and services. And when we align in sales and CS and create these pods, you can then have that alignment so much better, right? You've got an alignment from start. You jump on we call them pod meetings, you can call them whatever you want, but a revenue pod meeting on a weekly basis where they get on and they do a pipeline review. Hey, here are the deals that I've got in my sales funnel that are going to be coming to your book of business soon. CSM can then help join, but also the opposite is true after it closes. Hey, here's our kickoff call. Salesperson, you're going to join for the first 5 minutes just to drive that continuity and make sure that the alignment on the outcomes and the results that we drove in the sales process is still the same alignment. There's accountability on both sides matter. Again, I can talk your ears off. I'm probably rambling at you at this point, but the whole point is having a handoff doesn't matter how sophisticated or operationally sound it is. There's always an opportunity for accountability to be lost, time wasted, and we're not aligning on what matters most, which is the outcomes we're helping our customers achieve.
Yeah, Matt, it sounds like maybe you've thought about this before.
Sorry, I just kind of unloaded on you, didn't I?
No, it's perfectly fine. Gentlemen, who wants to jump in?
I would love to. Matt, that was like you got my brain going as I was hearing you say that. Can I pick that apart with an example? I want to run an example your way. Let me start by saying I certainly see the benefits, and I think this is a really, really provocative idea. I see the benefits of the pod model. I haven't seen it work in practice. I've seen it work sort of like, on one-off cases. But the reason I haven't seen it work in practice is often because the sales segmentation strategy differs from that of customer success. So an example would be sales segments based on geography, right? Like you've got this salesperson who's responsible for the East Coast, this person who's responsible for the West Coast, and then CS often segments by risk, growth potential, or more often than not, revenue, right? So you have your high revenue CSMs, your low revenue CSMs. So I'm curious, how would you reconcile a pod in that type of example when the CS segmentation strategy is different from sales? Do you change the segmentation strategy entirely, or what do you do?
You can. So my opinion is, why do we have the segmentation for the sales in the first place? A lot of times it's to help centralize focus on like a funnel, right? Your funnel is this, you don't branch outside of that funnel. So in CS, if we're segmenting on ARR or other things, do we have salespersons that can sell into those specific segments only? So the way that I've done it before, it's like, hey, this salesperson only sells to enterprise deals. Doesn't matter if they're in this market or not, this geographical segment. They only sell to enterprise deals. That means that they're going to get all of their deals are going to flow through Jenny, the CSM, or whatever it is. And so you can have separate segmentation in sales and CS, but you can still create pods and pairings based on who the person is going to be going to in the end. Now, at the simplest level, you can get super complex with this, right? We've done this with a company that had, I think, 90 CSMs and over 200 salespersons and created some really fun, complex pods. It sounds a lot more complex and rocket science-esque than it really is, because you can create those, you can keep those exact same pods and pairings. I sell to North America, but when I sell to an enterprise account, I know my CSM is this person. When I sell to a mid-market person, I know my CSM is this person. In my opinion, that's still a little more complex than it should be. And I honestly would recreate the pods or the segmentation if possible, because again, everything should be tied back to what outcomes and results are we driving for our customers and why? How are we aligning those results with those customers in the sales process and continuing to measure and drive those results in customer success? If our segmentation is set up to help us sell easier, then how are we still aligning on the outcomes that matter most to those customers and continuing it in customer success? So you can keep the segmentation how it is, adds a layer of complexity. My vote is to always create segments that benefit the results that we drive for our customers first and foremost, because that's what drives long-term retention.
I heard a lot about, first of all, Rob took all the words out of my mouth, so I'm going to blame him. But I heard a lot about pairings, and my mind, of course, went straight to like wine and cheese, which is a pretty good pairing because oil and water, not as good of a pairing, right? So CS and sales always having this friction between them, not being able to meld. And instead
That's the sober guy, by the way.
Yeah. I don't, there's non-alcoholic wine too, by the way. Okay.
Well,
Grape juice, right?
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
grape
Grape
juice.
juice, So, you got your, hey, I think I'm all for trying something different and seeing how that comes about. I'll just say quickly, in my current role, I work I work very closely with sales. I mean, if I turn around to wipe, I gotta see whose hand is right there. Because it's like we're working so close together. You know what I mean? I sneeze and it's like, oh God, did I get me on you? So it's a different experience for me. But I know that my company did switch from a pods model previously, but I think it was different than what you're saying, Matt. I think it was more like a bona fide silo, just like an entrenched silo, as opposed to what you're saying, which is putting CS and sales in the same pod. So,
Yeah. And the whole point is just to benefit the customer, right? If we understand what we're for as a company, why we exist as a company, what are the results that we drive for our customers? And it's a finite list. There's not an infinite number of things that we do for our customers. But if we can truly understand the results that we impact and how we can measure those, the earlier we can align on that in the customer's journey, the better it's going to be. So in marketing, let's message around the results that we drive for our customers. Let's sell the results that we're going to help them accomplish, right? And so if we can pair those two pre and post sales so that there is zero handoff experience, even if you don't have pairings, the whole point is to increase the overlap between sales and CS as much as possible. So that from a customer standpoint, it's, I know what I was sold on. I know what results I'm going to get. And in customer success, they're going to help me achieve those results as quickly as possible by helping me make the right behavior changes that I need to do in onboarding and going forward. And so you can accomplish this thing without revenue pods. You absolutely can. And there's some companies that do it so well. But there are also companies that have a brick wall silo between sales and CS. And that is what we need to remove entirely.
I love it, Matt. That's our time. Thank you so much for sharing this. It's a super refreshing idea, and we hope to have you back on the pod soon.
Great meeting you guys. This was fun.
Thanks, Matt.
You've been listening to The Daily Stand-Up by Lifetime Value. Please note that the views expressed in these conversations are attributed only to those individuals on this recording and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of their respective employers. For all inquiries, please reach out via email to dylan@lifetimevaluemedia.com. Find us on YouTube at Lifetime Value and find us on the socials at Lifetime Value Media. Until next time.
Hey folks, it's Dylan here. Thank you for tuning in as always. Now I've got a favor to ask of you. If you've made it this far, hopefully it means you like what we're doing with our program. So I'm asking you to please give this a like and a follow or a subscribe and leave a comment too. Your likes and your follows and your subscriptions, they allow us to keep doing what we're doing and reach a larger audience. Your comments help us make sure that we're making the best content for you. Best of all, it's free besides a few moments of your time. Thank you again for following along and we'll see you next time.